Here are my note cards. I'm back there, back there, and there. Okay. The coronavirus has affected all of us in a different way, whether ourselves have been infected or actually how we are surviving through it and preventing ourselves from being infected. According to Barron's.com, from March 1st to March 16th, there was actually a 24% increase in the streaming viewership on things like Netflix, Amazon, and Disney+. I know that binging comedy specials and a new series of Game of Thrones has become normalcy in my 1,100 square foot apartment here. And I know this pandemic has its effect on others, but we must continue on this front that we have started. Not only could we stop this pandemic, but we could also save millions of lives. I have had the pleasure of performing many presentations on this subject, and I will go through what we have gone through being stir crazy from the endless online assignments and tests, through what has happened, what caused this to happen, and what we can do to end this stir craze. So let's look at the problem. The main problem is that there's not enough stay-at-home orders during this pandemic. According to the New York Times, a group of writers on March 24th, 2020 said the following: "The orders, or the lack thereof, have divided the American public. Rural states like Arkansas, Iowa, Nebraska, North Dakota, and South Dakota have held off on stay-at-home orders. This has only added to the count. In that count of what the CDC has said is that they have statistics of over 1 million infected, 65,000 deaths, and 153,000 recovered in the United States alone." Reopening states has also become an issue, or reopening anywhere has also become an issue. In places like China, where we saw this disease start, Wuhan had actually seen milestones of recovered people or people being discharged and not ill anymore. Since then, they reopened, and then they went into immediate lockdown once they saw the second wave of this virus hit. So now that we understand the problem, let's examine what the cause was. There are two main causes to our problem. First, the way this disease spread. As most of us know, this disease is easily spread through droplets. We can be infected without even being near a person who is infected. Instead, we can be infected by what they touch, and we also touch and bring that back with us, from either touching our face, our nose, or anything like that. And not only can we be infected by those, but we can also be infected by people who are asymptomatic, or ones that do not show symptoms at all. Secondly, as a nation, we have become stir crazy. I know friends and family of mine have been dying for something to do that's not so monotonous. So they've been going outside and trying to go on runs or walks, or even in our own backyard back in Grand Island, my family has repainted a playhouse that hasn't been touched in over 10 years. In addition to that, stir-crazed people, especially here in Omaha, have been going unnecessarily shopping for things they don't really need at this time. On an interview I conducted on April 25th of 2020 with a local Walmart employee at the one on 72nd Street, said that as a company, they have capped the amount of people going into their stores at 1,000. Now, that number has had some controversy with the employee because they typically don't reach over 1,000 people in their stores except for on something like Black Friday. Since that interview was conducted, I had learned that those measures had actually been dropped at our 72nd Street Walmart. They have opened both the doors and are not able to actually count how many people are coming in and out at a time. And also, reopening those certain states, like Florida, have also brought harsh criticism. According to CNN.com, on April 24, 2020, the Florida Governor DeSantis defended local leaders of opening beaches while awaiting recommendations from the reopen task force. The reopening of those beaches brought harsh criticisms across Twitter and other people from the country. It actually branded a new hashtag that was under the name of #FloridaMorons. Now, the problem and causes are clear. What should be done to bring this pandemic to its knees? There are two major steps our nation needs to see in order to find that normalcy that we once had before this. The first, we need a nationwide stay-at-home order. This will stunt the growth and the spread of this virus. Not only that, but it will actually relieve the stress or flatten the curve, as we hear before, on those healthcare workers. In addition to those healthcare workers, this will actually give people a sense of hope, of something to look forward to in the coming days. As a public, and finally, as a nation, we need to adapt to different lifestyles. We need to understand who we are around, and not only who we are around, but who those people are around too. Because we don't want to get them sick, and we don't want whoever they've been around to get us sick. In addition to that, we need to adapt more cleanly lifestyles of what we touch and consume in places like offices, kitchens, and restaurants. What we touch is what we consume and can hurt us too. So in conclusion, we have faced the problem and causes seen during this pandemic and discussed a solution to finding the end. This is important because the rising death toll and infected toll should be reversed and not climbing in our nation of first world country. So I leave you with this, and I hope that you'll understand my foul language, but in a video with Samuel L. Jackson, he stated, "Stay the fuck at home."